Hi everyone, this is just a quick video to introduce the unit outcomes data form that I'm sending around to give you a bit of a context as to why we're doing it, what we expect, and what's going to be the consequences of this process, because I know you get a lot of requests for information, and academic jobs are increasingly being dominated by administrivia. But let me reassure you that this isn't trivial. This is really important. Not only is it a matter of the upcoming TEQSA audit that we have to do this, but it's also very important that in terms of ongoing course development that we actually gather really good data so we can understand what's going on, so we can actually see what's happening before we can make informed choices as to things that we change and things that we enhance. So, I mean, the reasons for this, first of all, as you'll know, TEQSA is coming and they expect us to be able to provide information on our quality processes. Now, they don't like using the word audit because they're not going in like auditors and looking at specific tiny details here. What they're interested in primarily is the big picture, and that we have quality processes that we use to address these issues. So it's important that we do this, but we're not doing it because we think someone is going to be coming in with a fine-tooth comb and saying this assignment in this subject is worth this percentage. That's not it at all. They want to know that our processes, that we have a good process, and primarily we also want to be able to get and deliver what the big picture is and identify what the issues are and where we're going in terms of enhancing quality in those areas. So, I mean, one of the things to mention is that we're looking at the aggregate data here. We're not really looking at individual data. It's important we get that data done correctly. That's very important. But what we want to know is, what are the general trends? How do things happen across the program? Where are certain things located? So that we can look at that in the big picture. And we don't have access to that data at present. So that's why we're asking you to help out and fill out these forms. The other issue is that a lot of the quality processes that were done before under ORQA didn't focus on assessment, and it's important that now we focus on assessment and we actually look at how these quality standards actually integrate with assessment. So that's again another reason why we're needing to obtain this information from you again. Some of it we have before, but some of it we haven't. We've never gathered and connected, and I think this is a good opportunity too to sit down and actually have a think about what these different standards mean. So be assured that there is a guide that goes with this, a written guide to filling it out that has access to all those different standards and what they mean. They are all fairly general and fairly generic, which is part of the problem. Setting standards, they don't give us a lot of guidelines, but what it does give us a tool for is actually understanding where those broad themes occur. For instance, do we have a lot of teamwork at year one, but nothing at year three? Where are these concentrated? Where are there gaps? And at the moment we don't know where those are, so it's very important that we do that. The other thing that's important is that there are now national learning standards for most disciplines, and that was organised through the OLT. And those have been agreed on through a national process, and we have to integrate that information in there as well. So we have 4 standards. We have the learning outcomes of each of the units themselves, we have the learning outcomes for the programs, we have the university core graduate attributes, and we have those national learning standards as well. So the form, I hope, is reasonably straightforward, and it's a matter of ticking boxes and so on from your end. And from my end, it's a case of trying to get all that data together and to do some analysis on the overall patterns of what occurs. All this will lead into program development, and that's where the really interesting work starts. So once we figure out where these patterns are, we then turn around and we look at where should they be. It's all very well to say this is where information literacy is located, but should it be there? Should it be somewhere else? The other thing I'd really like to emphasise is that the solution to all of our problems are from a program level down, and they're through collective action. So I know a lot of people say, and I say myself, students, communication skills might be poor, their writing skills might be poor. So the question we need to ask is, first of all, the basic question is, where do we assess that? The second is, where do we support that? If students don't know how to write, well, where are we supporting them in learning how to write? And the solution to that is, as I said, it's in collective action. It's not in everyone reinventing the wheel and starting week one with how to write an essay. It's figuring out where these things are located throughout the program, and then making sure that we build on these things. It's not just a case of we have a tute in week one on writing an essay, that we actually scaffold and support all the way through. So anyway, hopefully this process will be a conversation starter. I know it's not the most thrilling thing in the world to do, but it shouldn't take you very much time to do. As I said, the accompanying file has all the information on how to fill out the forms. If you have any questions at all, please contact me, and I'll discuss it with you. Or members of your discipline team will be able to help as well. The deadline is the 24th of August, which is coming up. It'll come up sooner than we know, but it's the week after the midterm break. So hopefully it'll be just before the assessment load starts kicking in. So I'd just like to finish this by saying thank you for being involved with this. It is not a piece of administrative trivia. It is not something that's going away to be locked away in the soulless computer somewhere. This is the basic foundation of what we'll be doing as a school in building the next phase of our programs. These are the building blocks that we need before we then go on to the more exciting work of saying, well, what does a 21st century program look like? And how are we going to get there? So this is stage one. Thank you for being involved, and stay tuned for what's going to happen with stage two.